What if I told you that the reason most people struggle with money has nothing to do with how much they earn, but everything to do with how they think? Imagine two people, one earns a modest income and builds lasting wealth, while the other makes six figures yet lives paycheck to paycheck. What separates them? It's not luck. It's not opportunity. It's psychology. Money at its core is not just numbers on a screen, it's deeply emotional. It reflects your beliefs, habits, fears, and discipline. The way you manage money today is a direct result of the mindset you've built over years, often without even realizing it. And here's the truth. Until you master your mind, you will never truly master your finances. In this video, we're diving into the powerful principles behind money management, inspired by Napoleon Hill's philosophy, principles that have shaped some of the most successful individuals in history. If you've ever felt stuck financially, or wondered why success seems just out of reach, this could change everything. Stay with me until the end, because one of these lessons could completely transform how you think about money and ultimately your future. Lesson 1. Your beliefs shape your bank account. The architecture of your financial reality is drafted in the quiet corners of your subconscious long before the first dollar ever touches your palm. Most people operate under a scarcity blueprint, a collection of inherited narratives that suggest wealth is a finite pie, or that financial struggle is a badge of moral honor. These beliefs act as an invisible ceiling. No matter how hard you work, your internal thermostat will always find a way to bring you back to the temperature of your self-perception. If you fundamentally believe that money is the root of all evil, or that people like us don't get rich, you will subconsciously sabotage opportunities, overspend when you find success, or fail to even notice the doors opening right in front of you. To change the bank account, you must first dismantle the cognitive barriers that view money as a threat rather than a resource. Reprogramming these beliefs requires a radical shift toward a value creation mindset. In this paradigm, money is not something you take from the world, but something that flows to you as a reflection of the problems you solve and the value you provide. Successful individuals don't see a high price tag and think, "I can't afford that." They ask, "How do I become the person capable of generating that level of value?" This shift from a passive consumer to an active producer changes the neural pathways associated with wealth. When you begin to view money as a neutral tool, much like a hammer or a scalpel, you strip away the emotional baggage that keeps you stuck. You stop viewing wealth as a matter of luck or cosmic inheritance and start seeing it as a predictable outcome of specific mental inputs and outputs. Furthermore, the belief in abundance is not a woo-woo concept, but a practical strategic advantage. A mind fixed on scarcity is a mind under stress, and a stressed brain operates in survival mode, prioritizing short-term relief over long-term gain. When you believe in abundance, you are cognitively free to take calculated risks, to invest in your own education, and to collaborate rather than compete. You understand that someone else's success does not diminish your own potential. This psychological liberation allows for a growth orientation where failures are seen as tuition payments rather than permanent defeats. By curating a mental environment where wealth is viewed as a natural byproduct of personal excellence, you align your subconscious actions with your conscious financial goals. Lesson 2. Emotion is the biggest financial enemy. The stock market, the real estate cycle, and the local economy are all driven by human psychology, yet the most dangerous psychology you will ever encounter is your own. The human brain was evolved for survival on the savannah, not for navigating complex compound interest or market volatility. Consequently, our instinctual responses, fear and greed, are often perfectly calibrated to destroy wealth. When the market dips, fear triggers a flight response, causing investors to sell at the bottom and lock in losses. Conversely, when a speculative bubble rises, greed triggers a herd response, leading people to buy at the peak out of a fear of missing out. Mastering your money requires a conscious divorce from these primal impulses, replacing knee-jerk reactions with a disciplined, logic-based framework. Detaching emotion from finance involves the development of a stoic financial temperament. This doesn't mean you become a robot, but rather that you develop a buffer between a financial event and your subsequent action. Anxiety, for instance, is often the result of a lack of a plan. It is the noise that fills the vacuum of uncertainty. The wealthy mitigate this by leaning on systems and predetermined strategies. If you have a written protocol for how to handle a market crash or an unexpected windfall, you remove the need to make high-stakes decisions while in a state of emotional duress. Logic acts as the anchor that keeps the ship steady during the inevitable storms of the economic cycle, ensuring that you don't jump overboard just because the waves got a bit choppy. Beyond the big market swings, emotions dictate our daily microfinances. Impulse spending is almost always an attempt to solve a non-financial problem, stress, loneliness, or a lack of status with a financial solution. When we use money to soothe an emotional wound, we are essentially leaking fuel from our wealth-building engine. True financial mastery is the ability to look at a purchase or an investment and ask, is this a strategic move that aligns with my long-term trajectory, or is this a temporary dopamine hit? By cultivating patience and emotional regulation, you gain the unfair advantage of being able to wait while everyone else is panicking. In the world of finance, the person who can remain calm for the longest period of time almost always ends up with the money of the person who couldn't. Lesson 3. Discipline outweighs income. There is a pervasive myth that a high income is the primary driver of wealth. However, history is littered with lottery winners, professional athletes, and high-earning executives who ended up bankrupt. The reality is that income is merely the raw material of wealth. Discipline is the manufacturing process that turns that material into a finished product. Without discipline, a higher income simply leads to lifestyle creep, where your expenses expand to meet and often exceed your new earnings. You can earn $1 million a year, but if you spend $1,000,001, you are technically poorer than the person earning $50,000 who saves 5. Wealth is the difference between what you earn and what you spend, compounded over time, and that gap is maintained solely by the strength of your character. Consistency is the secret sauce that makes financial discipline so potent. The power of compounding requires time, and time requires the persistence to stay the course even when the results aren't immediately visible. It is easy to be disciplined for a week or a month, but true wealth is built by the boring, repetitive actions of a decade. It's the decision to automate your investments, to maintain a modest car when you can afford a luxury one, and to prioritize your future self over the fleeting desires of your present self. This level of discipline acts as a protective moat around your capital. It ensures that your financial seed isn't eaten before it has the chance to grow into a tree. Discipline beats desire because desire is fickle and fleeting, while discipline is a structured habit that functions regardless of your mood. Moreover, financial discipline provides a level of freedom that no amount of impulsive spending ever could. When you have control over your urges, you are no longer a slave to your paycheck or your creditors. You gain the power of walking away money and the ability to pivot careers or start a business because your lifestyle doesn't require a constant, frantic infusion of cash. This form of self-mastery is the ultimate status symbol. While others are busy displaying wealth through depreciating assets and debt-funded luxuries, the disciplined individual is quietly accumulating the only asset that truly matters: time. By treating every dollar as a soldier that works for you, you ensure that your income is a tool for liberation rather than a gilded cage of your own making. Lesson 4. Definite purpose drives financial success. Money without a mission is like a ship without a rudder. It might drift for a while, but it will eventually be smashed against the rocks of triviality. Napoleon Hill's concept of a definite chief aim is the cornerstone of financial achievement because it provides the why that sustains the how. When you have a burning desire for a specific financial outcome, your brain undergoes a process of selective attention. You begin to notice resources, people, and opportunities that were previously invisible to you. A vague wish to be rich lacks the psychological gravity to pull your behavior into alignment. Conversely, a definite purpose such as "I will have $10 million by age 50 to fund a global literacy foundation" creates a magnetic pull that dictates every decision you make. A definite purpose also serves as the ultimate filter for your daily choices. In a world of infinite distractions and get-rich-quick schemes, a clear goal allows you to say no to the good so you can say yes to the great. It transforms your financial life from a series of disconnected events into a coherent narrative. When you have a specific target, every dollar spent or invested is evaluated against that goal. Does this expense move me closer to my purpose, or is it a detour? This level of clarity eliminates the decision fatigue that often leads to financial paralysis. Your purpose becomes the North Star that guides you through economic shifts and personal setbacks, providing the resilience needed to persevere when the path becomes difficult. Furthermore, a definite purpose galvanizes your subconscious mind to work on your behalf during your waking and sleeping hours. This is what Hill referred to as the obsession required for success. When your financial goal is tied to a deeper meaning, whether it's providing for your family, achieving total autonomy, or leaving a legacy, it taps into emotional reservoirs that simple greed cannot reach. This drive is what pushes an entrepreneur to work through the night, or an investor to study balance sheets when others are watching television. Without a definite purpose, you are merely working for money. With a purpose, money is working for your vision. This alignment of intent and action is the catalyst that turns abstract dreams into hard, spendable assets. Lesson 5. Mastermind your money environment. We are quite literally the average of the people we spend the most time with, and this is never truer than in the realm of finance. Your financial thermostat is often set by the collective expectations and habits of your social circle. If you surround yourself with people who view debt as a way of life, complain about their lack of money, and scoff at the idea of investing, you will find it nearly impossible to rise above that baseline. Their limiting beliefs will seep into your subconscious, and their habits will become your default. To achieve extraordinary financial success, you must curate an environment that challenges your assumptions and raises your standards. You need a mastermind, a group of individuals whose financial intelligence and ambition exceed your own. The power of a mastermind group lies in the harmony of effort and the exchange of specialized knowledge. When you sit at a table with people who are more financially advanced than you are forced to level up your language, your thinking, and your risk tolerance. You gain access to their mental models, the way they evaluate deals, manage risk, and spot trends. This environment provides a social shortcut to wisdom that would otherwise take decades to acquire through trial and error. Moreover, a success-oriented environment provides a form of positive peer pressure. In a circle where maximum contribution and strategic investing are the norms, you will feel a healthy compulsion to improve your own financial standing to remain a contributing member of the tribe. Finally, your environment isn't just about the people you talk to, it's about the information you consume and the physical spaces you inhabit. Mastering your money environment means being ruthless with your inputs. It involves reading the biographies of the great financiers, listening to podcasts that challenge your economic worldview, and physically placing yourself in rooms where big things are happening. When you consciously design your surroundings to reinforce your financial goals, you reduce the amount of willpower required to stay disciplined. You stop fighting your environment and start letting your environment pull you towards success. By aligning your social and intellectual ecosystem with your definite purpose, you create an unstoppable momentum that makes financial victory not just possible but inevitable. At the end of the day, money is not just about earning, it's about understanding yourself, your habits, your mindset, your emotional responses. These are the true drivers of financial success or failure. The principles we've explored today are not quick fixes or shortcuts. They are timeless truths that require awareness, consistency, and commitment. Think about it. If you change the way you think about money, you automatically begin to change the way you act. And when your actions change, your results follow. That's the real power of mastering the psychology of money. You don't need to wait for a higher income, a better opportunity, or the perfect moment. Everything starts right now with a decision to think differently, act intentionally, and take control of your financial future. Remember, wealth is not built overnight. It's built daily through small, disciplined choices guided by a strong mindset. If you can control your mind, you can control your money. And if you can control your money, you can shape your life. Your journey to financial success doesn't start in your wallet, it starts in your mind.